Hey everybody, my name is Christian McArthur, owner and personal trainer at Next Level Athletics, and I was recently a competitor in the 2014 Ikaika Bodybuilding Championships in Oahu over in Hawaii. And this is basically my introduction and my journey into going into the competition, how I felt about the competition, what the results were from the competition, and what it takes to actually go through it. So first off, I want to give a couple shout outs to people who helped support me along the way. First off, shout out to my trainer, Glennis Ramirez, for helping me, giving me all the advice, the different tips and tricks, all the different things that were needed to kind of put me on the right path to where I needed to go. Second shout out is my boy Dante Tanner. He's another one of the trainers who really helped me, motivate me, inspire me, good personal friend. So big shout out to him and his whole family. Another shout out is to my own family for helping me and supporting me so much. There's so many different members in my family who have helped me along the way. Another big shout out I want to say is to all my clients, my friends, just family, just everyone in general who has really watched the videos, has commented on Facebook or Instagram or whatever the case may be, for helping motivate me, because it's hard, it sucks, it's not easy to do, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of discipline. So everyone who supported me, thank you. This shout out's for you, because I need that motivation every day, getting up and training and hitting the gym hard and stuff like that. So thank you so much for your support. And last but not least, shout out to the Almighty God up above, because without Him, honestly, I would not be where I am today, and I wouldn't have all these different people in place to help me out, to help me get to where I need to be. So for all those who aren't a believer, I don't know if this is for you or not, but for me, He's everything to me, and if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here sharing this testimonial with you as far as this health and wellness thing is concerned. So big shout out to one above. What we're going to talk about is the why and how I got into bodybuilding. So essentially, the reason why I got into it is because as a trainer, I really needed to push myself. I really had to test the limits of, okay, what am I selling people? Being a business owner and being someone who has conviction and belief for what they stand for, I had to really be a walking testimony. So to me, being a natural athlete and being injured, I needed to do something that was still within the limits of what I could do. So basically, I picked up bodybuilding. It allowed me to regulate how I did my cardio. It also allowed me how to regulate my muscular endurance, my muscular strength, while changing the look of my body. So the reasons why are essentially because as my clients went through these changes, I wanted to show them that they weren't alone. I wanted to show them that, oh wow, he knows what he's talking about because he's going through it, which brings me to why, and the how and why are very similar, because as I kept going through the process and I kept training and I kept thinking of new ways to change my body, I got to a point where I kind of got stuck. And I started talking to my trainer, and she started to tell me, well, there's certain things you need to do, and there's different exercises along with certain nutritional things that you need to do, which are basically going to allow you to make these changes that you want to see. So if we want to gain more muscle mass, there's a certain formula to put more muscle mass on, and we need to follow the guidelines of that formula. Once we get further into the training and we need to start cutting, there's a different formula, and there's a different way to do nutrition, there's a different way to train, different repetitions in the whole nine, so that way we can do that different type of body manipulation. And so I started getting fascinated by it, And as I started to just apply my normal everyday training, I started to see a change. Once I really dropped from not the 24 to the 18%, but really the 18 to the 13% was when I noticed the biggest change. I noticed that I started at 31 years old. I started noticing I was getting back in the physical condition of being in my 20s. And I felt like I could surpass that. I could go past that. And that's when I started taking her advice and then really getting down from the 13s down into the 10s and so on and so forth. Because as I lowered my body fat, I was able to put more muscle mass on, become more of an efficient fat burner, become more athletic overall. So when I had to pick those weights up and I wanted bigger shoulders, or I wanted bigger biceps or triceps or bigger legs, or whatever the case may be, it was easy to kind of put it together because we had a formula for the diet and we had a formula for the training. And so that's essentially how I became a bodybuilder. It's putting all of it together and really, sticking with it, because it's a lot of dedication. It's a lot of hard work. A lot of people don't understand it. There's also another element, and that's the lifestyle, because your whole lifestyle is going to change. You will never be the same again, because you can't eat the same no more. You can't go off 3-4 hours of sleep no more. You have to drink water. You can't have soda pop and go clubbing and have McDonald's hamburgers and things like that. You have to really prep and watch what you eat, and you have to have accountability for the hours and the things you do and the people you hang around. That's why I came up with the NLA formula, which stands for the company, obviously, but at the same token, it stands for my philosophy: nutrition, lifestyle, and then the athletic. Because the athletic portion is only, hour and a half, 2 hours out of your day if you're doing it 5 days out of the week. The lifestyle portion is all the stuff you got to do throughout the course of the day for the other 14 hours. And your nutrition, well, we know how that goes. You eat, 10, 15 minutes, 5-6 times a day, but that still only comes out of 2 hours of your life. So essentially, you got to put it all together. And that's why I believe that this is an excellent guideline and an excellent philosophy that I had to go through, and I'm now able to share with other people. So, alright, so everybody probably wants to know, what is the last week like of going through training? What we call cut week, the most difficult part of it. Well, it sucks. You're basically doing you're only eating for survival. You're not eating for flavor. You're not really eating for taste, or even, only thing you're doing is eating to keep yourself going. So essentially a lot of psychological changes happening. You start to become very aggressive. You start to become your temper is short, so a lot of different things are going on during this process. But at the same token, this is where you're seeing the most gains. You're seeing the biggest changes in your body. You're starting to look a certain way. But this is also where you have to be very careful, because some people can lose too much muscle mass, or some people don't train hard enough, or some people don't have the right amount of cardio, or whatever the case may be. So this week is a very crucial week. You're supposed to, for this 1 week, peak out for that minute and 30 seconds on stage. So essentially everything you did comes down to how hard you worked the last week, how conditioned you are for the last week. So for me, that last week was try to put muscle mass on my legs, get my legs bigger, and this, that, and the other, because we knew going into the competition I needed to gain size in my legs. So I cut back on cardio. What I did was cut back the cardio, went more green leaf vegetables and a lighter meat source, a lighter protein source, to really get that cut look, but at the same token, really pushing the legs, doing more squat press, not so much regular squats because we don't want to put too much strain, but do more leg press and stuff like that, more hamstrings and quadriceps and whatever have you. So it kind of changes. One of the other big things as you go through that week is really just kind of prepping yourself for the competition. So another thing you have to do is posing. And a lot of people don't understand that that's an art within itself. You know, you're going to be in there for so many hours. I did like 40 plus hours with my coach on posing for a 1.5-minute performance. But the results were amazing. You know, I did great out there. I missed one pose, but no one knew. But it was really cool. And then you got to have your music down. So, of course, naturally, big shout out my homeboy DJ Ill Phil. Cut me a nice little spin masterpiece or whatever you call it to Pharrell's Happy. So that was pretty cool, having my own original music, you know. But yeah, but basically that week is just all prepping, you know. So you want to put your mind in a different place to where other things aren't really affecting you. You have to stay focused. You got to stay positive. You have to have the right energy going into it, especially if you're going as a natural bodybuilder. Because let me tell you, you have natural and you have unnatural alike. And a lot of people don't understand, which I didn't know, which my coach didn't know because we had not been around the people that we were going to be competing with. So we didn't know exactly which classes and whatever to compete in and stuff like that. And it still worked out pretty good. But you're going to have guys, if you're natural, you may be competing against guys that are unnatural, especially in an amateur competition, unless it's an all-natural competition. So case in point, you may be the smaller guy being a natural guy in your weight class because somebody may be doing steroids or growth hormones, stuff like that, deer antlers or whatever the case may be. Okay, and as a natural person, you can only put so much mass on it in a certain amount of time. So, you know, there's a lot of different things going on, a lot of different things at play. But the one thing I did notice as the competition went on and the day of being there is that there was a lot of things I liked about the experience and there's a lot of things I didn't like about the experience. Like, I'm not spraying no whole bunch of tan stuff all over me. That's just not me. You know what I mean? Maybe as I go further in my career, okay, whatever. But for now, I'm doing it because I love doing it. I'm doing it because I'm an athlete. I like competing. I like pushing the limits. I want to bring the art form back. I didn't know Arnold Schwarzenegger and Luke Ferrigno was getting spray tanned on them and having graffiti art and all this other stuff and making them look a certain way. Them dudes is natural, and that's what I really want to bring back. And that's what I kind of noticed going there, was that you had the naturals and the unnaturals. And the people who seemed to be natural were the people who seemed to be the happiest, the healthiest, the people who could do different things and didn't have certain issues, you know. Because, let me tell you, we had a little situation where, you know, one of the guys snapped on a photographer, and it's like, you know, drugs would do some crazy things to you, man, and you know, you don't want to be the one person snapping on a photographer because he asking you about taking some pictures. You know, it's not healthy. You don't want to have awkward social skills. You don't want to be a unsociable type person and things like that. Like I said, you're already going through the diet and the training, so adding the different drugs and stuff like that, you know, I don't know if that's a course of action that most people want to take. So for me, I'm doing this for the everyday people, for the people who just want to be healthier, who want to be fit, who want to be in shape. But at the same token, I feel like I have a special gift. I have a special talent. And my gift and my talent, not only do I want to share with people, but I want to be a living testimony of it. I want to see how far I can push it. How far can I take it? You know, and so it's like, as I went through talking to the judge after the competition, you know, I found out that I was one of the best posers there, like the whole overall competition, but I wasn't the most muscular, you know. So I had to think about, what does this mean that she's telling me? And we both came up with the idea that I would be a better fitness model. And so essentially that's where it has me going to now, to where I can journey into both. I can use bodybuilding as a catalyst to become that model, and follow a different path. Or I could do both. I mean, I'm already a trainer still, so I still have that going on, which keeps me healthy and keeps me in shape. But now I have a different way to get out to other people and so on and so forth. It gives me a different platform. So a lot of good came from it. You know, I took 4th overall in my class, first time ever getting on stage, you know, and it was a great experience. I wouldn't change any of it. I'm glad I went through it, and really, for anybody can do this. Like, anybody can do it. It's not a thing to where you have to be this super athlete or superstar person, or you had to be the it person in high school or whatever. No, anybody can pick this up and do it, but it's really all about dedication, sticking to it, knowing the science, you know, and having a passion for it. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out all the competitors who did do the Ikaika competition, regardless of whatever situations, because it is a lifestyle. It's something you have to commit to. It's hard work. You know, you bust your butt every day from sunrise to sundown to do something that most people don't even care about. So big shout out to everybody who took that stage to do that, man. And last but not least, you know, I just basically want to say thank you, everybody, again, for helping me get to a point to where I felt confident enough to take that stage. Because when you're up there, that's all you got is you're naked in a Speedo. So only thing you have are your thoughts of motivation. And essentially, the people who are going to be watching this is who I had thoughts of while I was up there. So big shout out to you. Thank you for getting me to where I am. Thank you for supporting my career. Thank you for supporting Next Level Athletics and the whole nine. Many mahalos, alohas. I'm so sad. I'm going to miss my island. But we're moving on. We're doing something else, taking it to a different place. So big shout out Scottsdale, Arizona. Big shout out everybody in the 808, the 213, 312. My people up in Alberta, Canada. We got peoples over in Utah. We got people in Nevada. We got the Alaska movement going on. We got people in Florida. We all over the place, man. So if I didn't hit your state, Minnesota, Minneapolis, Alabama, Texas, H-Town, big shout out to the D. Big shout out to MacTown. I didn't forget y'all either. South Central down there on Skid Row. I didn't forget about y'all either, man. Everybody who's supporting the movement. So thank you so much, man. And other than that, thank you for watching the channel. More videos to come. This is Christian, and that was my road to the Ikaika competition. Peace.